Hey everyone, Shawn, Sav Mu. Hello, how are you? How do you do?
Wow,
How you like
rhymed.
that? So today we're going to be reviving an awesome video on the battering ram. And this is especially because we want to fine tune our swings and get them ready for next season. And this is going to be a really nice fine tuning video on contact and direction because those go hand in hand. And we've got a fabulous drill to show you that relates to a door frame that you have at home, or you just get one of your favorite heavy hammers and plop it on the ground like that and create your own vertical door frame. And so systematically, all three of us are going to do a graduated drill, and we're going to hit a gorgeous shot here at the third hole at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Wish I was there right now. It's minus 20 outside over here. So without further ado, let's have at it. Let's go with Mu. So we're going to start with, if you look at how Mu is holding his club, imagine this was a battering ram, right? We're SWAT officers getting ready to bust down the door. Right. So we're getting ready in relation to the door frame, so you notice Mu is setting up right up against that door frame. And if you do a backswing Mu, notice how Mu did not drift away from the door frame. He would never do, here, let me drift you. You would never be over here to try and bust through that door. You notice you're at a loss for leverage right now. Yeah. Okay, so you would never sway away from the door frame. All you swayers out there, this is going to help you big time. So show me a really nice centered backswing Mu. Fantastic. So now, doesn't it feel like you can use the weight of your arms and shaft and club to drive through there? Yeah. So use that weight to drive through. So notice how Mu didn't get in front of it either. So show me something where you would get too far in front of it, Mu. Ha! You just glanced across the door, right? Yeah, just made a big scratch across the door, but you didn't bust it open. No. So let's see you make one more motion like that. Okay. Oh. Nice. No, that's good. I wanted you to do the good one. Okay. So now let's say there was a ball up against the door frame now. Okay. So do a backswing and stop. Now the battering ram is the butt of your club. So as you're coming down, it'll feel like you're busting through the door frame with the butt of the club. That's your battering ram. So notice in relation to the door frame how Mu is behind it, and he's ready to use that mass and deliver that mass through the door. Right. So now from there, most of you are going to think you're going to miss the ball. Just let the club head come down slowly. How about that? So you're collecting the ball there. Notice how the face is open. And then you're releasing the ball through the door frame and out into the picture. All right? Yeah. So let's see you do a regular practice swing against that door frame. Okay. Good. So you gather that and release it. Very nice. So in relation to that door frame, you feel you're not drifting away from it. Right. You're not getting in front of it. That's it. And the dual release, because we have, and I'll explain it in mine. I'm just going to let Mu hit a nice shot here. Okay. So what club do you have, Mu?
I got a 7-iron here.
All right. So a little 7-iron. It's about 212 to the center of that green. Yeah. So you're using this intermediate point. Right. And basically, it's like if you had that door frame right up against you and you're just delivering a shot left edge of that intermediate point for a draw, right? Right. Perfect. Not bad. Look at that. Holy, what a great miss. We'll leave it at that, man. So let's look at, if you look at contact with the club, you got a great path coming into it, right? You came in from the inside. That means you're staying behind it. Right. Your club face in relation to that path. Yeah. So if we go face to path, it was 3 degrees close to the path, and that's why you got this gorgeous draw on it.
Yeah.
Nice downward angle of attack, right? So let me get my shadow out of there. 4 degrees down the bottom left corner,
Yeah.
which means that you're delivering down and through the shot.
Yeah.
And it was just a hair, off the center toward the toe,
Yeah.
and it just created just a little bit more of a draw effect. But hey, you are exactly 5 feet 0.8 to the hole
That's awesome.
at 212 yards. So 212, 5-foot birdie putt.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that'll do.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, come on in, Sav. Okay, so Savannah loves to go straight to the battering ram with her hands. And so let's look at a little something here. If you were going to hammer down with your hand here, notice how there's your anatomical snuff box. There's the radius, there's the ulna, and they're stacked on top of each other, and you're hammering down with compression. But in golf, we're hammering that way. So look at the position of the hand now. Go ahead and take your grip. Savannah would be a Class A carpenter when it comes to golf, right? So she is in the perfect hammering position to get in there. Now, notice when she performs that lead shoulder is higher than the trail shoulder, and look at that beautiful tilt that she creates. So if you were to tilt in the opposite direction, Sav, there. So that would be the hit the ball mode, right? Versus squeeze the ball through the door frame towards the target, and look at how she's able to maintain that. So top of backswing, push against my hand. Look at how nice she's leveraged against the target. So her body now is supporting her ability to squeeze the ball into the direction of the target. So she's going to hit a nice smooth 5-iron on this particular hole. She's going with her draw, and because of the efficiency of the action, she's using the weight of that arm hammer unit to deliver through the door frame. Nice swing. There we go. That's stuck to the green. That is such a narrow entrance to that green. Let's have a look at those numbers. So, terrific path coming in from the inside. Under 4 degrees closed to that path. Nice downward angle of attack, which means you're moving through the ball and towards the target. And very close to the center. You're just, a couple of millimeters off center. And this lovely draw. And nice 199-yard carry on that. And you ended up 17 feet to the right of that pin. Really good shot, Sav. Way to use weight. All 125 pounds of it. Now to resume. We have a battering ram. We have a door frame. We want to feel like we're right up against that door frame. So you notice I'm leaning into that door frame to feel like I can drive through it. Not to the point where I'm getting in front of it and scratching across it. You can see how that's not going to do very well. And not to the point where I'm swinging off of it and scratching up the door. So I'm with it, I'm through it. I'm with it, I'm through it. Notice as I'm doing that, my arms are staying straight. I'm not collapsing the arms. So you notice my rib cage and pelvis can't stay static. And you certainly can't use the arms to perform this battering ram. You're using the weight of the arms and battering ram. Notice how the legs transport that weight into the backswing. And then the legs are going to transport that weight back through the door. Same thing here. When I set up, I'm going to gather. And as that right arm folds and the wrist hinge, I'm activating this second pendulum here. Now, I'm going to bust through the door with that. So I'm breaking through, breaking through. Notice how my body's got to get out of the way. My brain's got to go get the ground, use the ground to get my body out of the way. Now, look at how my angle of attack has to be downwards. I cannot deliver my hammer before my hands. If my hammer delivers before my hands, notice the club passes my hands at the bottom. That's when you see an upward angle of attack with the irons. You see where we're going now? So we're always delivering through, collect here, through there, out into the picture. So when we're using the weight of the arms and club, well, obviously when I get to the top of my backswing, the club is falling towards the target right now. It's sitting on my wrists. So when I let the arms fall, that can't go first. You cannot interfere with that. You got to use weight only. So when I'm using weight only, I'm going through the door. Notice how my brain's going to get my body out of the way. Everything's going to come back from the inside to collect, and then release into my picture. Bottom line, I see a door frame. I feel the weight of my arm club unit, my arm battering ram unit, and I'm going to use that weight to squeeze through the door frame and into my picture. Here we go. That is called thin to win.
Wow.
How about them apples? So all that was a little bit thin. Hey, ended up right on my line.
It's a firm green.
So nice path from the inside. Face was closed to that path. Downward angle of attack. Just a little bit off the bottom of the club right there. Nice little draw. And club speed was terrific. Everything was in place. So many of you would say, well, why'd I hit it thin? I got to make sure I don't hit it thin. That's just one swing. The very next swing I make, I can't repeat. They've studied that in sports science, and they've shown that even on a 1-foot putt that I do over and over again, even though the ball goes in the hole and I'm always successful at putting the ball in the hole, the brain scans produced by that are slightly different one from the next. You're looking at an adaptation machine, not a repetition machine. I can repeat my task, which is, oh yeah, there's my door frame. I got the weight of my arm club unit. I'm going to use that heft to deliver through the door frame, and let's see what happens. So then the brain says, hey, that was less thin. And we're back on the green with a little bit better trajectory. And let's look at where I hit that. Just a little bit toward the toe, but a little higher in the face. If I go to a little fade now, I'm going to aim a little left of that intermediate point. I'm going to take my battering ram and let it fall to the left of the intermediate point. So it's going to look like this. There's my battering ram, and my battering ram is going to stay to the left of that intermediate point. So I'm going to gather the battering ram, let it fall through. Just a little more open on the face, and that would have been really good. Let's go one more. Path was perfect. Just a little too closed on the face. Hey, that looks pretty good. Stay on. All right. Good. So, the path was excellent. Didn't read my club face, but definitely the face was a little open on that. So we hope you enjoyed what we just discussed, and we'll see you in the next one. All the best.